Hi and welcome. Today we're at Virginia State University's Randolph Farm. It's a windy day, so we're in one of these high tunnels today, and we're going to be talking about planting sweet corn. You know, every summer it's easy to find sweet corn at the farmer's market, at the grocery store, but wouldn't it be nice to grow your own? And it's pretty easy. Sweet corn doesn't require a whole lot, and it's something that you can definitely do in the home garden. The first thing we want to think about, though, are the different types. There are 3 different types of sweet corn that kind of tell about how sweet they are. And in your seed catalogs, you're going to see some of these terms, like sugary enhanced is the second one, and super sweet is the third. And the only reason I mention this is because when you're planting them, especially the super sweet, you don't want to plant the other 2 types within about 500 feet because you might get cross-pollination and it's not going to end up tasting very good for you. So look at your seed catalog, look for if it's called super sweet, sugary enhanced, or sugary, and make sure you don't plant those really close to each other. All right, so you've got your seed and you've decided what you want to plant. Now it's time to plant. One of the first things you got to think about is temperature. Not necessarily air temperature, but soil temperature. Sweet corn really likes it warm soils, that is. So when you put the seeds in the ground, you want the temperature to be at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So you definitely want to wait till after the last frost and then try to measure the soil temperature, either with some type of thermometer in the ground, like a candy thermometer or an actual soil thermometer that you can get at a garden center. Measure around 3 inches in the ground to see what the temperature is. Okay, so your soil temperature is the proper temperature to get your sweet corn in the ground. So how far do you plant it in the ground? Well, sweet corn should be about 1 inch or 1.5 inches in the ground. The seed should be put down that far. And you should think about planting multiple rows. That way you'd make sure that the wind pollinates it properly. So instead of one long 100-foot row, you might have 4 25-foot rows. And so as you space those rows apart, they should be about 3 feet apart. Now, one way that you can plant the corn in the ground at 1.5 inches deep is by hand planting it, going through and putting about 2 to 3 seeds per foot. And that's going to be a good spacing for the sweet corn. But another way is to use a tool like this. This is a push planter, a push mechanical seeder, and you can buy these for about $100, $125. They come with different seed plates, so you can plant sweet corn with them, but you can also plant beans and tomatoes and okra and a lot of other vegetables. So it might be useful in your garden. If you've got a large enough garden, this is definitely the way to go. So the way this works, it just has a wheel. As you push it along, it makes a furrow. You have the seeds that you've put in the hopper. That seed plate rotates, picks up the seed, and drops it into the furrow. Then there's a little chain in the back that covers it all up, and another wheel that tamps it down. So it's a real simple process of just walking the seed, walking the planter down the row, and dropping your seed. So once you've planted, there's some things you need to think about throughout the growing season. And one is water. You get some timely rains, but if you don't get that, you need to apply water to the corn. So one way would be to use drip irrigation or maybe even a soaker hose, making sure that the plants get about 1 inch of water every week. And as far as fertilization, sweet corn also needs a lot of fertilizer. So you can put some fertilizer down, granular type, 10-10-10 or something like that, as you plant or pre-plant, but then you can side dress the corn. That's making a furrow about 3 to 4 inches away from on the side of the corn, on the side of the row, and adding some granular fertilizer there and then covering it up. You can do that 2 to 3 times throughout the growing season. And remember, weeds can grow up, so you want to try to get those early. You want to cultivate, but not too deeply around the plants because you could damage the roots. So make sure you get them early, not too deeply, and then once the sweet corn grows, it's going to shade out a lot of other potential weeds. Now you can have other problems like squirrels and raccoons. Not a lot of ways to get rid of those, so remember to plant enough for them and enough for you. Well, for more information about planting sweet corn, please contact your local county extension office and talk to a master gardener. For From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins. We'll see you next time.
From the Ground Up is presented with the generous advice and assistance of Virginia Cooperative Extension. Visit their website at ext.vt.edu.